Hello everyone, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about something that has nothing to do with my model railroad, but someone else in my live stream last week has a layout that you can control from your phone, computer, tablet, etc., etc. But anyway, we are going to be doing a review on his control system, and I'll show you guys how to drive it, either driving it simple or you could drive it like an advanced railroader. So we'll be talking about that as well in this video. So keep watching. Now to drive the train, first go to Canadian Locomotive Logistics YouTube channel, then go to their description, scroll till you see the first link. So to get to the website, click on the link right there that the arrow's pointing to, but also you gotta know the three rules. First, please be respectful when operating. It's not your layout. Treat it with respect. 2. Obey the rules of operation. If you know the rules, great. If you don't know the rules, just be very cautious. And 3. Have fun. Also, consider subscribing to Canadian Locomotive Logistics because I think what he's doing is very awesome. And also, tell other people about this. So if you are in a club, tell the club owner about this, and maybe they could even try the system out. But now I'll show you how to drive the train in simple mode. So it'll first do a pop-up with their channel logo. But first, what you'll want to do is know your controls. So I'll do a quick overview of what you're looking at. We're first going over the simple controls that you would need if you're just wanting to drive the train on the layout for a little bit. First, you'll need to know the reverser, which will put your train in forward and reverse and neutral. And second, we'll be talking about throttle slash dynamic brake. So that will either throttle up. So if you hit it, the screen will say notch 8. That means you'll be driving forward. So you'll need to hit that to drive. And then horn, you probably all know what this does. You hit it, the train will blow its horn. I recommend not hitting it too much because you might annoy the owner of the layout. So, and then bell, which you would turn on if you're slowing down, speeding up, or going over a grade crossing, or you can just turn it on if you're going through a yard to warn the operators. And then emergency stop. I recommend hitting this to stop when you're on a mobile device like phone or iPad because it can get finicky with the throttle. So just hit that button when you want to stop. Next, we have lighting control. So there's three settings: off, dim, and bright for the headlights. So when you drive the train, I recommend turning the headlights on because it looks more cool. And then next we have status screen, which you can use that to tell you your speed and what throttle position is. So say forward, and then you could also see what notch you're in. So next we'll be talking about throttle status. So it will show you neutral, but you can say throttle up to notch 8, and that'll say neutral notch 8 or forward notch 8, reverse notch 8, etc., etc. Then now we're going to talk about speed indicator, which I find to be pretty useless because you basically will say you're going 80 miles an hour when realistically you're only going 20 miles an hour down the main line. Here's an example. Now that you guys saw that, now we're going to show you how to drive. First, you need to put it to forward using the reverser. Next, you need to notch the train up to about notch 6 or 7. But you know me, I would never put the 6-7 meme into this, right?
Hey, 6-7!
Yeah, I apologize that I had to put that in the video, but I had to. Because, 6-7's still funny to me. Anyway, we are driving down his main line now, and he has a couple crossings, so I would encourage you to blow the horn for it, because I think it's pretty fun. But now we're going to show you how to stop the train. So you'd hit the emergency stop, and it'd immediately throttle down like you see right now. I'm speeding this up, by the way, because it took a while to stop, because I'm driving this what we call simple mode right now. So we'll wait for the train to come to a stop. Once it comes to a stop, we will blow our horn and turn the bell off and everything. And now we are done driving in simple mode. So for all you beginners out there, I hope this simple mode instruction was helpful. There is no simple mode in the driver, but I kind of made one. Now we'll do the complex mode on PC. So here's how you run the train realistically. First, you'll need to know the automatic brakes. When you hit that, it'll automatically put the train brakes on, so the rail cars and the locomotive brakes. Next, you need to know is independent brakes. So that will independently control the locomotive's braking. So you hit that, say you're doing a switching operation and you have a single locomotive, you'd use that to stop your locomotive or slow it down. Dead man is what you call a button in a locomotive that is designed to make sure that you're awake. So an alerter will go off, which we'll show later, and it'll start beeping, and you would hit the button, either of the two buttons, to make it stop beeping. And it's used in real life as well. And if you don't hit the button within an amount of time, it'll actually apply the train's emergency brakes and come to a stop. So you probably learned something new there if you're a beginner with this. But the next one is Sanders. It's just a sound effect on the locomotive. It's not actually going to improve how it drives, but in real life, Sanders will put sand between the wheel and the rail to give the locomotive more traction. And lastly, this is a phone. And some of you Gen Alphas that watch my videos are like, what is this? This is a phone. But this phone here doesn't have an 1800-inch touchscreen on it. This is a classic phone that you could use for the radio on the locomotives. I don't know if you call people with it. I think it's just for radio use only. Now we are going to show you the more advanced way on PC. So we have a Windows 7 here, and we're going to be showing you how to run it the advanced way. So like usual, you would put your throttle into there, forward, and then make sure all your braking is off, and then you'd put your bell on, and then put her notch 8. That's what I like to do. So you just rapid tap, left click really fast on the thing, and it'll do that. But after we get sped up here, I'll show you guys how to stop the train realistically. But what's funny is I'm trying to record this with an iPad off the screen of the computer, so I don't know how to screen record on a PC. So on top of the lower camera quality and me recording off the Windows 7 screen, it doesn't look the greatest, but in person, this is a very good thing. Blow a horn. But on top of it here, if I scroll up, here, you'll be able to see the train drive by on the camera there. So yeah, so there goes the train on the secondary camera he has set up there. And now I'll show you what happens if you don't touch any of the functions for like, I think it's like a minute or two after you stop pressing functions. It'll start doing some cool things, so just watch and you'll see. This is what goes on. And the way to shut it up is you hit that. It's like a real locomotive, so we'll have that beep. It's called, you gotta hit the dead man button, which basically just says that you're awake. So when you hear that off, you gotta do something. Another way to turn it off is to just hit like the horn or the bell or something. So I'll show you that in a minute. As you can see, the alerter is back on and very loud. You hit the horn. So I hit the horn and that also shut it up. But when you hit the dead man, it only turns that off. But the horn is multi-purpose. You can use it for quieting the alerter, or you could use it to blow your horn. And it also works the same with the bell, so you could use your bell to shut that up as well. And there's also Sanders, so since we're doing this in realistic mode, we are now going to apply our braking. So step 1, I just do this. It'll automatically throttle off, and then that's when I can start using the... So I'm just using the key, and now we are applying braking now. So you can hear all the brake sounds coming on. We are now using brakes. We can also turn our bell on since we're playing realistically. There, apologize about the camera skills, but we're now coming to a stop. Now that we have officially come to a stop, turn your sander off, turn your bell off, and double tap the horn. That's a tour. His layout isn't that big, but I think it's the perfect size if you just want to drive some trains. And always remember, I know this is just a model train, but put your throttle in neutral. I don't know if you guys haven't seen the Unstoppable movie, but he left the throttle in forward and it went to notch 8 and his train ran off. It's a movie if you've watched Unstoppable before. So that is it for the realistic mode. Well, that's going to be it for today's video, everyone. I'd like to thank Canadian Locomotive Logistics for partnering with me to make this video. But I really want you to go check their YouTube channel out and try driving their train. It's definitely fun for me. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching.